Hello! Can everyone hear me? Sorry for the longer than normal wait. I was taking care of a few things. And I don't believe I am muted today, unlike, what was it, Friday? Or what was it? Was that Wednesday? Oh, hello, Apa. Hello, Ankylosaurus. That's always a struggle for me to pronounce. Maybe one day I will get used to it. Hey, hi, hey, hola, loud and clear. Thank you for coming, Teradito. I missed you last week. It's good to see you. Slaying Siren, adorable transition. No, thank you. And thank you for coming, Siren. I know we talked about this on Discord, but thank you. It's really good to see you. After seeing you in Axion streams for a while now. Hello, everyone. I am Tia Fair, idol philosopher and justice incarnate. Welcome to today's chatting stream. Honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not sure I know what I'm doing today, and honestly, I'm not sure that I know what I'm doing any day. I try to seem like I do, and sometimes I don't really want to admit that I don't, but yeah, just before the stream, I was actually doing something really funny. It has to do with like planning for my my next stream this week. So I feel like I'm still experiencing like a bit of like a rush. Like I might still have like the giggles, maybe. But yeah, we're just gonna try to take it one step at a time. And also, what was I gonna? I know I was gonna say a couple things. Since you brought up my transition, Siren, that actually has to do with one of the things I wanted to mention today. So, this is my fault, this is my mistake, but in my debut stream 2 weeks ago, I actually meant to talk about my transition, and I completely forgot. And that was actually the main thing. If there was anything from my debut that I felt like I should have mentioned and then like it, totally slipped my mind, it was that. And yeah, so the transition you see, I didn't make that myself. I actually commissioned it from VGen, on VGen from someone named Rain. I've linked their credit. I mean, I've credited them in my description this whole time since the very beginning. So yeah, it's not like I was trying to use it without credit. But I meant to also like mention it explicitly in my debut stream, and that was like the one thing that I should have mentioned, and I like completely forgot. I felt kind of bad about it after, but and then I wanted to. I was like, I realized after my debut, and then I told myself, oh, I had better mention it in my next chatting stream as well. And then I forgot. I also forgot to last week, and I was like, oh, I forgot again. Okay, I know I really need to remember the following week after this. So finally, because you brought it up, Siren, I remember this time. So thank you, Rain, for the really adorable transition. When I saw their template on VGen, like the Your Character Here template, I saw it because I was looking. The thing with my debut is like if you watch my debut stream, I will have mentioned that like I tried to, I wanted to. Initially it was my ambition to try to like make every single asset for my debut stream. Like I like to do the background and like the starting and ending screen and like transitions and like literally everything. And then I realized that like I can't do that because it's yeah, like I didn't like have enough like time and energy left over after just doing my own model. So it was so I wound up looking for transition commissions on VGen, and then when I saw Rain's template, I just fell in love with it on site. It looked really perfect for me. It was so cute, and Rain was really great to work with. Honestly, like it was like a rush. Like basically my order was like pretty much a rush order. I think I messaged him only 6 days before I needed the thing before my debut, and I was like, yeah, so I need this. I'm willing to pay extra for this because like I literally just finished my model like today. I know it's like this is last minute, but like please work some magic for me. And he was really professional and accommodating, and yeah, and it turned out great. So really, yeah, I'm really fortunate and happy about that. So I don't think that Rain is watching, but even so, thank you, Rain, for that. It really means a lot to me that you contributed to my debut in that way, and I'm still making good use of your transition now, and probably will for a long time to come. It's so great. That's me often. It's so much work. Yeah, it is. I've done animation before. Like animation is not my specialty, but I've like I have done yeah, I've dabbled in animation before. I know a little bit about it, but it's like one, it's not my specialty, but also I honestly didn't really have any concepts in mind for what I wanted my transition to be, and nothing came to mind. So it's just as well that I commissioned something. Like some things for my debut I didn't want to commission. I wanted to do myself, like especially my motto, which you see right here. Like I am but yeah, that was nice. So I feel like we should start off stronger this time, because last week I wanted to showcase a bunch of things, and then I ended up just like shoving all the interesting things near the end. Like I didn't like pace it out throughout this stream, and that was my mistake. So I'm thinking this time we might start off with like something different. Teradito, are you listening? You're still in chat? Because I wanna show you something. I wanted to last week. I had planned to last week, but you what was I gonna say? Like you were busy with your dad's birthday, right? If I recall correctly. So I decided I would try to save it for this week so that you could see it. Siren says, I really need to improve with digital art. My father was a painter, so I have some traditional knowledge. Oh, it's really cool that your dad was also a painter, Siren. It sounds like you come from a pretty artistic family. I actually don't really have any, I have very little experience in traditional art because I grew up in like a poor family, and traditional art is expensive because like you have to afford like the tools, like canvases and paints and paintbrushes, like all those things. They really add up a lot. I find it a lot more expensive compared to digital art. So because of like in like large part because of that, I never got good at doing traditional art. I just jumped straight to digital when I was young. Last Monday? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna mute my BGM. So, Tara, you know how in my debut you mentioned that you're a really big fan of Cardcaptor Sakura, right? So I didn't really get the chance to respond to that during my debut, but I did want to say at some point that I also really like Cardcaptor Sakura. I watched. I spoke a bit about this last week already, but I watched I watched a show with subs on Netflix with my husband like during the pandemic, and then yeah, we really enjoyed it a lot. Like before that, I had already read a bit of the manga and also seen like some of the episodes of the dub like a long time ago, but yeah, we really liked it. And my favorite characters are Xiaodon and Yue. Feel free to tell me yours, Tara. But I wanted to do something in okay. Let me. I'm bad at this. Let me try to explain. So Tara, I see you just in like every Keras stream and like every Axion stream and like almost like all of my streams too, like you're almost always there supporting all three of us philosopher VTubers all the time. And I just want to let you know that I really I witness, I perceive and really admire and appreciate your dedication to all three of us. And I felt that I mean, even though I've just debuted, I've seen you support Keras and Axion for a long time now. I feel you say big fan of it. I'll never forget that sloths move incredibly fast. Is that actually trivia from the show? I forgot by now. That sounds vaguely familiar. But anyway, yeah, I as a token of my appreciation, I wanted to do something to symbolize and commemorate your dedication to all three of us. This is on. I didn't consult with Keras or Axion before doing this. This is just sort of like my idea that I came up with independently. But nevertheless, I'll just assume that this is, you know, I'll just say that this is on behalf of Axion and and I assume Chairman. But I want to sing you a song today, Teradito. Just for you, because I want to show you how grateful I am for your dedication. It's a song that I'm quite sure that you recognize if you're as big a Cardcaptor fan as you say you are. All right, so hopefully. I didn't really test the audio for this before the stream. Let's hope that this works as intended. I think it'll probably be okay, but if it's like, if you can't hear it or, you know, it's like some shit like that, like please let me know.会いたいな、会えないな、切ないな、この気持ち言えないの、言いたいの、チャンス逃してばかりだって翼広げ二人で空をまれそう夢をユニゾンしたCatch me, mother こっちを抜いて好きでていって So nice to meet you, good to see you きっとあたたの思い晴れたらハートに飛んでゆけ恋してるThat was Catch Me, the first opening of Cardcaptor Sakura. I hope you enjoyed that. It's such a cute song, and the instrumental, I didn't make that myself. I found it on MuseScore, and I actually come to think of it, I linked the credits to the song in last week's stream. But I didn't for this week because I thought I would sing it last week and then didn't happen, and then like I forgot to do it for this week. So more ponkotsu on my part, but maybe I'll fix that after the stream. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed that. That might not be the last song I sing for today, by the way. We'll see what I'm in the mood for in a bit. But let's see what I want to talk about next. I also wanted to talk about I have something to talk about relating to songs, and there was more as well. Maybe we'll start with songs. So how do I say this? I'm thinking of starting to record covers, song covers for my YouTube channel. That was something I was thinking of doing. I was always thinking of doing. because it's really common for VTubers, right? That's a common thing that VTubers do. But initially, I was thinking of doing that maybe a little further down the road. But recently, I started thinking like maybe it would be like actually a good idea to start doing that sooner. And a big part of the reason for that is due to my health issues. But like my health is pretty unreliable and inconsistent. So like before, I don't really know whether I will be healthy or unhealthy on for any given stream kind of until I show up that day. Because of that, that especially makes it difficult to plan out karaoke streams, because what if I put on my schedule that I'm doing like a karaoke stream and then that day it's really hard for me to sing and like I do a bad job. I kind of don't really want that, but then I do like singing and I want to sing, so I thought of a couple compromises, and one is actually I mean, so far I've kind of been doing singing one or two songs per chatting stream a week, and I thought like, what if I just keep doing that? And so instead of having dedicated karaoke streams like most streamers where like the whole stream is singing, I just every week I'll just sing one or two songs instead of as part of the chatting stream, and you know, that way I because I don't think I have the stamina right now to sing for an entire stream, but that way I still get to sing and you still get to hear me. So that was something that I was thinking of, and then yeah. Uh, and then when it comes to pre-recorded song covers, right? Obviously, if I'm pre-recording them, then I don't have to worry about sort of not feeling up to it, because I can aim so that if I wake up on a certain day and I'm like, oh, my voice is feeling good today, I can pick that day to record, and because it's pre-recorded, yeah. I hesitated to go this route before. Before I was like, oh, I need to focus on singing live because I want to prove that I have the chops, and because when it comes to pre-recorded stuff, it can be like heavily edited, right? Sometimes it's hard to tell what the skill of the actual singer is, right? So I kind of wanted to flex, and I was like, no, I need to do it live, because it's like more legitimate that way. But I'm realizing like, I've already gotten some really kind feedback on my singing voice. Already. So if I start doing pre-recorded covers now, it's not like anyone can, I think, accuse me of faking at this point. That would be a little silly. So I have some ideas as to what songs I would like to do right now in the start, or in the near future. I have some ideas as to what songs I might want to start off with. So yeah. That's something I want to talk about, since maybe I figured people would be excited for that, and I forgot to turn on my BGM. That might help a bit. And yeah, like I did say in my debut stream that my goal was just my ideal, like the ideal I wanted to strive for was to do at least one karaoke stream per month. But I think this might be actually a better, just a decent compromise, just to sing one or two songs each week instead of like cramming them. Like I'm spreading them out by week instead of cramming them all into one stream per month, and I'll also release song covers on the side. So I think that's something that I'm gonna try. Tara says, I think editing is still a very important skill in music, and yeah, if it lets you sing as much as you wish, then that's best. Yeah, I don't really have much experience with music production yet. I have some, but it's something that I've been wanting to learn for a long time. So yes, wish me luck as I try to pursue that. And then another thing, since I was talking about my debut and about did I touch on Live 2D? Maybe I did. Because I both drew and rigged my own model, right? So I actually yes, last week I technically came out with version 1.1 of my rig. I didn't finish all of the physics, but I added more physics, and I added Z angles, so I can tilt my head like this now, whereas during the first week of streaming, I looked a bit more stiff. And then, guess what? This week, what you see now is version 1.2 of my model. So I edited my rig again. The reason for that, the main reason for that is because hopefully most of you saw that I released the first episode of Justice Spoken on Sunday, yesterday. If you didn't, I hope you'll go see it sometime. I worked really hard on it. It was really important to me, and it's meant to be sort of the bread and butter of my content. So for that Justice Spoken episode, both the thumbnail and the episode itself, to a lesser extent, I needed an angry facial expression. Like, I needed to make an angry facial expression. Like, my rig needed to be capable of that. And then when I tried to make one in VTube Studio, I realized I can't make an angry face. I can smile, like I feel like my model is quite expressive, and it's especially smiley. But I realized it was like literally impossible for me to make an angry face, and I was like, oh shoot, I need to fix this. So I further added some rigging to the eyebrows so that I can, let me try to look angry right now and see what that looks like. Like there, you can kind of see it, I think. And then there was another thing that I added, another feature I added that was meant to go in my 1.1, and then I forgot about it then. So I've just added it now. This is the first time I'm testing this on stream, so watch closely and let's see if this works. Do you see that? I can toggle off my tiara now. I can take off my tiara, and then this is like what I look like without my tiara. What do you think? Part of the reason that I wanted to add this toggle, pretty much, and this is still only the only toggle that I have. Now, I went from having no toggles on my model to one toggle, but yeah, the reason I wanted to do this was I figured that eventually I might want to pin, there might come a time when I want to pin objects to my model in VTube Studio, things like hats and other head accessories. And if I do that, it might conflict with my tiara, right? Sometimes it doesn't make sense to be wearing like two things on your head at the same time. So this way, if I want to wear something else on my head, if I want to change my accessory, like nothing will conflict. But I think that Terrace is peeled. What do you mean peeled? Nothing. You're acting like so much more came off than it actually did. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Let me make my angry face again. All in all, I do like the way I look with my tiara more, so I'm gonna put it back on. And then I did want to talk about my Justice Spoken episode. Honestly, maybe I should just be upfront with this, but it feels kind of embarrassing. My Justice Spoken episode didn't do as well as I hoped. it got pretty much like the normal amount of views for the amount of subscribers that I have right now. But I was kind of hoping that it would blow up, and it didn't. And I feel like I can see where I went wrong. I have some ideas as to how I could improve it in the future that I don't know if I'll go into at this time. But in general, I've been how do I say this? I've been feeling a little maybe a little disillusioned and unsure about how well my channel is doing and the direction is going in. I'm like I started because it feels like lately my YouTube has been pushing my streams less, and I'm not sure why that is. And there's definitely a part of me that worries that, oh, it's because I'm not entertaining enough. I'm doing something wrong, and that's why people don't want to watch me. And I, you know, that's on me. Like, it's my job as an entertainer to be entertaining enough and to provide enough value that people want to click on my videos. But I guess it is a little rough. I don't know if there are any easy answers. But if you do have any feedback for me, I would like to hear it. That's generally always something I'm looking for. I like to hear feedback in comments. I know some of you have been showing up to my streams very consistently, and that's something I see that, and I really do appreciate that. I'm just trying to think of how I can expand my audience, and you know, maybe it's like not, and maybe it's not actually me, and maybe it's not actually personal. Like, maybe it's just people are just busy and they just don't really have time to watch random live streams, especially if they happen at like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. So yeah, I have a lot of questions right now and not a lot of answers, but that's something I've been thinking about lately. Is my mic volume okay, by the way? I did adjust my mic settings recently over the weekend or on Friday, because a certain someone informed me that my voice, my mic was peaking a lot during last week's stream, and I they brought it to my attention, and I noticed it too, and I was like, oh shoot. I figure maybe it's because of one small other setting I changed, or maybe it's also possible that it's because like I was really tired during my debut, so the volume was fine then, and then now that I have more energy, it's like I'm too loud, and the old settings don't apply anymore. But yeah. Ava says, I mean, you are still kind of starting. Things will go better. I really think this channel has potential. That's a really, really, really nice thing for you to say, considering I know you watch like Hololive and you probably watch other like big VTubers. You sound like someone who watches like many VTubers, Ava, including some big ones. So I will try to take heart from your comment. I am aware that YouTube can be very fickle and sort of like impenetrable, and a lot of this is people say that a lot of this is based on luck, and yeah, so maybe it's like not that I'm doing anything wrong. Maybe I just have to hold out for a while. I will say this, I have not exhausted all of my ideas and options as to how I can make this channel better and bigger. We still are only getting started. I have a lot of ideas that I haven't implemented yet, mostly because I haven't had the time, but stay tuned for those. All in all, what I would say about this is, in my opinion, I would say that most VTubers and things like that, if they're if they blow up at all, it's generally within the first 1 or 2 years of streaming. So my general rule is that if you've gone like maybe 2 years of streaming or more and you still haven't blown up, maybe that's a sign that it's like unlikely that you'll blow up after that, because it seems to me like most indie VTubers who blow up, they do it in the first 1 or 2 years of streaming. And so based on that, I think that what I should do is give it my all, give it my best for at least a year before deciding if, you know, this is not for me and I'm better off doing something else. I've at least got to do that much. So I hope you'll continue supporting me. Oh, and then another little thing I changed about my model is I slightly updated the eye tracking. So I think my eyes stay open more often now, because I feel like during my gaming streams, especially when I'm like looking at the game and I'm not looking directly at chat, my eyes are like kind of half closed at the time. So half the time. So I think it should be a bit better now. I think the eye tracking is a little bit improved. Siren says, I'm struggling here for sure. Twitch and TikTok, I'm flourishing, but YouTube and Facebook doesn't push views as well. That's really interesting. I feel like there's more I could learn there. Maybe something more I could look into, or if you want to provide more context, feel free. That sounds very interesting. I would love to know why YouTube is like that and why Twitch might be better for small channels, it sounds like. Siren says, I don't think it's you either. Oh, that's very sweet of you to say, Siren. Thank you. Yeah. Let me actually open. When I do chatting streams, I usually write point form notes as to, like, I write an outline of what I want to talk beforehand, so that I don't like I always have things to say, and I also don't veer off topic if I have topics that I absolutely want to cover. And I usually put these on my phone because that's quieter. Because I have a notebook. I mean, I'm a philosopher, right? You know, what do you expect? Like, so I have a notebook and that I write like my ideas and other things in. But if I'm having to like flip through my notebook on stream, then it'll be like loud. It'll be feel phone is better. So what was I going to talk about? Okay. All right. So by the way, speaking of Justice Spoken and singing, I wanted to show you and talk about this. So for those of you who watched my episode yesterday, this made its first appearance there. I drew last week. No, was it last weekend? Actually, last weekend, I got the chance to draw my own custom mic asset. I drew this myself. It is mine. It's not shared with anybody else. I wanted to have this in my debut. Didn't have time to make it then. I also wanted to use it during last week's stream when I sang, and I literally had finished it. I had even loaded it into OBS, and I just forgot to turn it on while I forgot to make it visible while I was singing. And I realized after, and I was like, dang, why do I do this to myself? And then wait, Tara says homegrown mice. Mice? Don't you mean Mike? I don't see any mice. Are we supposed to be seeing something on the whiteboard? Not right now. I'm gonna get to that. I hid all my layers because I didn't want them. Maybe I actually should have something else like visible on my whiteboard by default when I start stream. Like I don't know, but like oh yeah, the mic. Maybe I should have made that more obvious. Yeah, I meant to use this in last week's stream, and then I completely forgot about it. It was done. It was ready, and I was like, why do I do this to myself? But yeah, all in all, it's not a bad thing, because that meant it ended up making its debut in Justice Spoken, which is maybe more appropriate. So yeah, I'll try to remember. Wait, I realized I sang in the beginning of the stream, and I still forgot to turn on the mic. One day, I will remember to turn on the mic when I'm singing because that's what it's supposed to be for. And then what else? Well, I'm not singing right now, so maybe I'll hide it. And then I kind of, speaking, spelling mistake. Speaking of assets, I ideally I also wanted to make my reference sheet by now, and as well as my starting and ending screen. Sorry, because the starting and ending screens I'm have right now are temporary. They're not. They're just placeholders. I have other ideas for them that I've not been able to actualize yet due to lack of time. But I just want to mention that I'm still trying to work really hard on making my channel better and drawing more assets. I haven't had really time to draw for a few days now. I think the last time I drew was like maybe Wednesday or Thursday. Speaking of that, did you make the controller asset? You remember Apa. Yeah, the last time I touched that was like maybe Wednesday or Thursday, and I've been so busy over the weekend that I haven't revisited it since then. It's still in the works. It's not really all that urgent, so I don't have like a set date as to when I want to finish it for. I think it's best if I just take it easy and try to prioritize my mental health, because I realized I have a habit of putting a lot of pressure on myself and saying like, oh, I like definitely need to finish this by this date, or else I'm like a bad person. And I realized that just the cost to my mental health was too great. So I'm trying to just go a bit easier on myself. It also means that my channel might not grow as fast if I'm not setting such stringent goals for myself. But this is more of a marathon than a sprint. I know that. So I think that it's probably best for the long run if I try to pace myself a little more. It's a good mindset. Yes, thank you. Thank you for understanding. What else can I talk about? Okay, I've been talking about random things for a while now. Should I just finally show something on the whiteboard? I don't know. I feel more uneasy. I feel like I feel more uneasy on stream when I know there are fewer people watching me, because it feels more awkward, because it's I don't know. It's just hard to because not as many people to bounce off. Maybe if I I don't know. That's not something that has an easy answer, but I will try my best. I said that I would do something today, and I will try to do it no matter what. So I went. Okay, I initially wanted to save this for later, but I'm gonna start talking about it now. Hope it goes okay, and maybe return to the other stuff later. Okay. So over the weekend, last week, I mentioned that I was gonna do something IRL on Saturday, right? So 2 days ago, and that because of that, I wouldn't be streaming, or I wouldn't be around, and that I would tell you what that was after, because I don't want people to, I don't know, like somehow stalk me or follow me there. Didn't want anyone to get strange ideas, so just in case, I kept that a bit of a secret, but now I can finally tell you what I did. So I went to, maybe I should have prepared more photos and graphics, and that would have made the stream more entertaining. But I went to a local anime convention in my city. It was called Ani Revo Toronto. It's done by the same people as Ani Revo Vancouver, which is an older convention. They decided to branch out and branch out to another city, to Toronto, because both Toronto and Vancouver are in Canada, and so this year, 2025, was actually the inaugural year of Ani Revo. It's the very first year that Ani Revo took place, and it took place over the whole weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I only went on Saturday. That was the most convenient day for me, it was a lot of fun. And I before we get into anything else, it's time to show you a picture. So I wait wait, okay, sorry, I got a bit ahead of myself there. I actually I don't cosplay that often, but I actually did try to do a cosplay for the convention, because I feel like it's just nice to try to get into the spirit of things and make the effort. So I let me just turn on the picture right now. Okay, that might be for the best. Okay, are you ready? Some of you may have seen this already, but even so, 3, 2, 1. It's me, the 3D version. But my face is censored, as you can see. But this is an actual picture of me. So okay, let me. So you might be wondering, who did I cosplay as? So initially, I was actually planning to cosplay as Tifa from Final Fantasy, because people have told me that I look like Tifa. As you can see, I kind of already have the hair for it. The problem was, like, a couple weeks ago, I checked to see if I had all the parts for the Tifa cosplay, and I realized that one part didn't fit, and there were some more that I kind of lost, and I don't know where they are. So and I didn't really have enough time to buy replacements, so I decided that to save Tifa for another time and go with something else instead. And what is it? So instead I looked at what else I had, and I actually went as Jun Oda from Yakuza 0, who's a male character, so it's kind of a crossplay or a gender bent cosplay. Should I put up a picture of him in case you don't know what he looks like? I should have. I thought of preparing one and I forgot, but maybe I can do that right now. Just give me a minute to do this thing in OBS. Will this work? Oh, he appeared on top of everything else, because that is what happens when you first put something in OBS. So you can see that I have like a similar dress shirt and blazer. What was I gonna say? I don't know if it's like very visible since it's a bit zoomed in, but the shirt that I bought for the cosplay actually has like dragons on it. It's got like an Eastern dragon. It's got quite an Oriental print, and I thought that was really fitting, since Oda is Chinese. He's an Asian character, obviously, you know, Yakuza, and I also had matching belt and matching shoes. I had red heels, and I also, you see how he has a kind of magenta colored handkerchief in his pocket? My blazer didn't have a pocket, so instead I carried around a magenta sort of colored clutch, purse clutch, or you know, whatever you call it, of the same color. And honestly, I don't wear clothes like this very often. It was my first time kind of trying the style, and I'm not sure I really pulled it off. I think I would probably pull off Tifa better. I think that's closer to me and my style, but still, I gave it my best shot. So now you know something of what I look like in real life. You can see that my model is based pretty closely off what I look like in real life. It's not like I look like completely different or anything. At least I would like to think so. And it's quite a stylish cosplay. Oh, thanks, Tara. Yeah, one of the great things about Oda is like his like fashion sense is so on point. He's so stylish. Honestly, he's yeah, so far Yakuza 0 is like the only Yakuza game I've played, but I would recommend it. It was really fun. The story was great. I haven't played any other Yakuza games, but Oda was my favorite character from the game. He is very sexy, but also gay. He's like the epitome of the saying, "Be gay, do crime." He's the embodiment of "Be gay, do crime." Yeah. So. Yeah, and then what else? Yeah, so that's me wearing that's me in my cosplay. And by the way, wait, did I? There was a picture I wanted to load into my OBS, another one, and I forgot about that one too. Let me do that just for a. Let me take a minute to do that, but then it's gonna appear on top of everything else, and it's gonna look weird again. Just chotto mate. No, what was it? So the picture that the picture of me that you see there, the selfie, was taken at a restaurant near the convention. I wanted to show you some pictures of food from the restaurant. It's covering everything. Hold on. Okay, that's a bit better. Let me just try to resize it properly. I went to eat at a restaurant called Kelly's Landing. It is in downtown Toronto. It's literally right next to Union Station. Like, you exit Union Station, you cross the street to the west, and it's right there. So it's at a really convenient location downtown, and the food there is like really, really good. And one reason I like the restaurant in particular, like this restaurant, because there are a lot of great restaurants in Toronto, right? But one reason I like this one is because they actually they have a lot of gluten-free options, and I can't eat gluten, right? So I generally can't eat normal breaded chicken wings because I would react to the gluten. But there's these wings that you see here, believe it or not, they're gluten-free. But they look like normal wings, don't they? They look really good. And yeah, they served it with some celery and some feta dip that you can see on the side. They're actually like extremely delicious. They're like possibly the best chicken wings I've ever had in my life. Not just gluten-free, just the best. And and yeah, and then there was a this picture wasn't from this Saturday. It was from the first time that I went to Kelly's Landing, because I got a different kind of wings this time. But I didn't take a picture of them because I was actually so hungry. I just ate them right away and I forgot to take a picture. And then there was another picture I wanted to show. And it is also a food. This will be, I think, the last food picture for today. But this one is actually from Saturday. More covering. This one is my main on Saturday. It was surf and turf. So what you see here is like lobster in a buttery sauce on top of like a steak, and with some veggies. And yeah, it was pretty good. It was expensive though. This was like $50. It was pretty good. I think you can find probably food that's just as delicious for slightly less cost. I don't pay $50 for food every day. It's only once in a while. So it was good overall though. The lobster and like the buttery sauce were especially nice. I'm not like the absolute biggest fan of steak. The steak was like okay, it was all right. So yeah, this is at Kelly's Landing in downtown Toronto. So if you ever find yourselves in Toronto, then feel free to check it out and visit. I recommend it. And then I have relating to this convention, Annie Revo Toronto. I have another picture. So I'm slightly blocking the right side. Let me try to like lean over. So this is like this is just a picture of the show floor taken from the second story. So you can see that like all the different it's like the artist alley. So you can see all the different booths and like the merchandise and people walking around and such. I didn't notice at the time that I was taking the picture, but if you like look really closely in the center, there's someone in a like Frieza cosplay. Like Frieza from Dragon Ball Z. Like, do you see it? It's like very close to the center, like slightly to the left. Like you can see like the purple head and then like the white tail. I didn't even notice at the time I was taking the picture, but when I was like uploading this, I saw it and I was like, oh, that's like really funny. But yeah, it was not really the biggest convention. Because my husband was telling me like, oh, it's like smaller than Anime North, and which I have to agree. Like Anime North is pretty big, but this one is more accessible. Because like Anime North is hard to get to by public transit, but this one is like in the heart of like in the downtown core. It's like it was at the Metro Toronto Convention Center, so it's at a very convenient location, and yeah, so it's like the space inside is smaller, but it was still pretty nice, as you can see. There was like a lot of stuff and a lot of cool stuff, and Frieza cameo, yeah, so random. And you might wonder if I bought anything from any of the stalls you see there. So I did, and but not as much as the convention I went to 2 years ago, which is something I'll talk about in a sec. Because I bought a lot of things 2 years ago, so this time I decided I would probably buy less because I already have so much stuff at home, so I don't need as much stuff. I did end up buying, one of the things I ended up buying was a coaster of Fuwawa from Hololive. They didn't have Mokoko for some reason, just Fuwawa, so I bought Fuwawa. I bought a drink coaster. It was pretty big. I bought that in part because I like using coasters because I tend to put drinks on my table. I only have one coaster right now, but it's really small. It doesn't really fit like big mugs. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, I could actually use this because it's actually a pretty big coaster. It can easily fit the mugs that I use. And then another thing is just you don't often see. It feels like you don't often run into coasters at conventions. Like that's not as common a type of merch. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's really interesting. So I guess I'll pick that up. And then I also got an acrylic keychain of Emblem Marth from Fire Emblem. And it's really cute. I didn't take any pictures of them, unfortunately, because I had a tough time trying to find an angle that didn't have a lot of glare. Because I didn't take any at the convention, and then like the lighting in my room sucks. It's like hard to take good pictures in my room. So maybe I'll post those later. But yeah, that was what I bought. So I spent a lot less money than I did 2 years ago. And the 2 years ago, what is it? What was I gonna say? Okay, so you know how you know how I mentioned that this was the inaugural year of Anime Revo Toronto, right? So actually, 2 years ago there was a different anime convention in the same space. It was called Anime Toronto, and it too was a sort of small convention and a new convention. And then basically in the last 2 years they rebranded, and basically some of the same people who did Anime Toronto 2 years ago I believe have joined the team of Anime Revo Toronto. They took a break last year and didn't do anything, and then they've come back this year as a different convention. And let me read comments. It almost looks like a maze. It looks busier. I think it looks busier from above than it was on the ground floor on the same level, and that's just because of the perspective. But it's not as bad if you're actually on the same level as all the booths. Love that. My fiance is a cosplayer. He's often building in his man cave. Ooh, what? That sounds funky. I wonder what things he cosplays that are so elaborate that he actually, you know, what's the? You describe it as building. You know, it sounds pretty intense. But yeah. So I went to a different convention in the same building 2 years ago, and I wanted to talk a bit about my experience there. So I actually had a pretty good experience that day. I went on both Friday and Sunday, and the Sunday of that weekend they had a particular panel. Can you guess who was a guest at that panel? The hint is in my thumbnail for this stream. It's one of my it's my Hollow Ian Oshi. This isn't good. Wait, I didn't turn off the mic. Okay, I need to turn. I can't. Okay, there we go. Do you see who's on the screen? Do you see who that is? It's Takanashi Kiara. So they actually had Hololive members as guests for that panel. They actually had both Kiara and Pavolia Rene, whose name I always want to pronounce as Ren, which means queen in French, because I speak French. So I have to make I may have to make a conscious effort to say Rene instead of Ren. But yeah, it was a panel with Kiara and Rene as guests, and they were doing basically a game show together. We weren't allowed to take pictures or have our cameras out during the sort of the panel itself. This was before it started, and we were just waiting. So this was just a trailer that they were playing. I think it's like the Pineapple music video. But yeah, it was like really fun. How do I say this? So Kiara was really cute, and I remember this part. So she was like saying hi, you know, she came on the screen and she's hi to everyone, and she said like she was like worried that she wasn't sure how many Canadian fans she had, and she said she was like worried that like nobody would come to the panel, and we were like no. It was like so sweet of her. And then she tried to sing "O Canada," but she's not Canadian, so she doesn't know. So what she ended up actually doing was she ended up singing "O Canada" to the tune of like, I think like "O Christmas Tree." So she went like "Oh Canada, oh Canada." And we laughed, and then she talked about how like, oh, like, isn't poutine a Canadian food? Like, I've never had poutine before, you know. She said it in her Kiara voice. Yeah, I'm thinking Kiara says that she's not a big eater, so I was thinking that if she like tried poutine, she might find it too filling for her, because poutine often comes in like pretty big sizes. Not always, but like sometimes. If she ever came to Canada and if I had the opportunity to meet her, I would maybe take her to try some poutine. And then Rene was really cool as well. I don't watch Hololive Indonesia that much, but with Rene, what I found was that she actually has a really strong live presence. Like, just the way she talks and her presence, she's very charismatic. Like, she has a very strong presence. Like, when you watch her talk, especially on a big screen like that, she really fills up the room. So it was really cool to have her there. And then I think they also both sang a song at the end. I forgot which song Rene sang. It was one of her originals, but Kiara sang The Great Wanderer. I think it was because maybe just the theme of The Great Wanderer. I think she said it reminded her of Canada, or maybe it was more like that or maybe there was another reason I forgot because it's been a while. So this was like more than 2 years ago. This happened in, I think, the first weekend of September in 2023. That I remember. So yeah, the panel was cool, and as you can see, some people had orange light sticks. I didn't have one, but you can see very clearly there in the photo. One guy did, and so people were waving them around during the music section. All in all, it was really fun. Oh, and then when Kiara and Rene left, when the broadcast was cut, like the whole crowd went like, oh, like we were so sad. Yeah, it was really sweet, and it was like my first time kind of doing something like that. And the convention room, which you can see here, it was so full. Like all the seats were taken. I think they let in a few people and let them stand on the side, so it was like completely full. So what Kiara was worried about, that like no one would come, it was like the complete opposite. I want to show you what I was wearing as well, cause this is not a very good photo. But they were selling Kiara and Rene shirts at the convention all weekend, and I bought a Kiara shirt. It was basically just like a jersey, an orange jersey with a her official 3D render on it. So nothing like super fancy. And this was a photo I took at the convention while I was wearing the shirt, which is why it looks the way it does. I could have taken a better photo, but I kind of like couldn't be asked. It turns out it is surprisingly difficult to take a selfie just of your body as opposed to your face. I discovered that the hard way, but I still have this shirt in my closet. I haven't really worn it since the convention because it's it's like not I don't know, I don't really have many occasions or reasons to wear it, so I mostly just keep it safe in there. And then evening people. Oh, hi Kai, nice to see you here. Did you should I show anything that I've shown already? I sang it. We've been up for about an hour. I sang at the beginning of the stream, and then I also talked about the cosplay I did at a local convention this past weekend. Let me turn that on quickly. And I was trying to cosplay as Junoda, a female version of Junoda from Yakuza 0. I don't know if you played Yakuza or know that character, but there's me. And what else? Yeah, so the convention. Do I have any other? Oh, I have a couple more stories to tell from the convention. I actually ran into okay. So before the Kiara panel, we were all people were all lined up outside the room, right, the exhibition room, and there were a lot of Hololive fans there, as you can imagine. I saw this one girl dressed as Miyabi from Miyabi Daisenpai from Holostars JP. And I struck up a conversation with her, and she said that like, yeah, like Miyabi is her Oshi, and I said that was like really cool, and that Axel Sirius is my Holostars Oshi, and yeah, we were just talking about like Holostars basically for a bit, and yeah, that was just really cool. I didn't take any pictures of her, but I did take some pictures of her bag. She had one of those bags that has like a plastic compartment on the side, and she had like so many pins and acrylic charms inside. And then I also saw another person who had a similar bag, but their bag was like full of like Magni Desmond stuff. So I met like a Magni Desmond like super fan there, and yeah, it was really cool to meet some big Holostars fans there, especially Miyabi, because I know like Holostars JP had like a pretty rough start. So after that, I told myself like, well, if I ever have the chance to speak to any member of Hollow Stars, but especially Miyabi, I'll tell him that, you know, one day at an anime convention in North America, I met someone who was a super fan of his and cosplayed as him. What else? I have some other things to show. I'm embarrassed now, especially because it feels like some of the people that I normally expect to be here are not here today, and it feels like it's not the same without them and getting their reactions. Like I don't want to. If I talk about it with them without them here, I'm gonna feel stupid, and I don't. I don't know what to do. Kai says I gotta go to more conventions and stuff, man. Get out there more. Yeah, it can be pretty fun. I encourage you to try if you can. Of course, it's easier though if you live in an area where a lot of conventions, you know, normally take place. I can understand how that can be difficult if you don't really live in the right area. For me, as I mentioned in my debut, I live in Toronto, Canada, which is a major metropolitan center. So there are a number of conventions here each year. The main anime convention is Anime North. It's an older convention, but then there's also Fan Expo, which is not really, it's not anime focused. And then now there's Ani Revo, which is brand new, and I'm hoping they keep doing Ani Revo year after year because in November, because it's it's just it's a way more convenient location than Anime North. So yeah. What else can I talk about today? What Tara says, dog fight. Dog fighting their own wars in the background. You could hear. Did you hear the dog barking just now? I wasn't thinking about that because I usually just tune it out, but yeah, it was just one dog fighting. I'm not sure if by your comment if you mean that you heard one dog or two dogs, but there was one dog. Yeah, that was indeed what you heard. My husband says that sometimes he can hear her barking on my streams. And I just like quietly, but maybe that time was particularly loud, and then everyone else noticed. But I feel like I generally tune it out because I have my headphones in and I'm talking and everything, and there's background music playing in my ear. So yeah, sorry about that. I hope you don't mind. Let me know if there are any dog lovers in chat. I think actually, Siren, I believe I took a glance at your YouTube channel, and I saw your bio says that you're a mom of 2 huskies, and I saw that like you have like your huskies like star in your YouTube shorts, and I thought that was like really cute. Huskies are really cool looking, but I'm not sure if I could ever have any because of like they have like high exercise needs, and they are also kind of like loud. Like if you know anything about like dogs and like huskies especially, like they make actually a lot of noise, like more than you might expect. Like they look like they'd be all stoic and sort of, you know, elegant and quiet, but I feel like it's kind of a meme among dog lovers that like huskies are kind of like drama queens. They make a lot of noise in response to like everything. If you're still there, Siren, feel free to chime in as to whether that applies to your huskies or not. Maybe yours are different. Siren, yes, they are very popular on TikTok. Oh, that's really that's really cute. I'm really happy for them and for you. I'm sure a lot of people love to watch clips of your huskies. Makes me feel like I should get on TikTok because I made a TikTok account. I just haven't started using it yet. Like I've never really used TikTok before. I'm not a TikTok user, so I would like need to figure out how to use TikTok, and then like maybe like I know a few people who have like a small following on TikTok, so maybe like I should try to make clips and put them on TikTok, and maybe it would be easier to get attention there than on YouTube. Huskies are drama emperors, bro. I mean, yeah, that's what I've heard. I don't always want to assume, because I haven't had huskies myself, but just based on everything I've seen and heard, that seems to be the case, yes. Siren says, thankfully my girls are quiet. They don't sing the song of their people. Aw, that's very sweet. But a lot of huskies do seem to sing that song. It can be quite funny. Like I've seen just videos of like the sheer noise that they can make, and it's hard not to laugh, honestly. Siren says, you really should, just to expand. I upload my series and get hundreds to thousands of views versus less than 10 on some of the videos here. That is really interesting. Thank you for telling me that. That is definitely something I am going to think about. I am not used to editing videos, and especially not in the shorts format, like the vertical format. I don't know how to do that, so that's something I would need to figure out how to do. But yeah, I think you've given me a lot of sort of like a push to do that. So that's something I considered before, but didn't have any plans to start. But yeah. I think I'm definitely gonna consider that now and look into it. So thank you very much, Siren. Okay, what else? My phone screen went dark because I stopped touching it. Let me see what else I needed to talk about for today. Because I feel like that's about what I wanted to say regarding conventions. Oh, I remember something else I wanted to talk about. I did promise I would talk about it, so I should. I don't really have any pictures though. I went to two different concerts in the last year. Yeah, about a year. One of them I already mentioned on stream. That was the Ado concert that I went to in August. Fun fact, that I think that concert was on Sunday, August 3rd. Which means that literally it was the day after Axion's debut. So I watched Axion's debut on Saturday, August 2nd, and then the day after I went to the concert. And then I caught the flu at the concert, and then I was sick for the next 2 weeks. But that part I already talked about. But apparently Zero, who I don't think is here, is like a fan of Ado. So I thought I would talk about yeah, my experience there. So I bought tickets because, like, I mean, Ado just has a voice that is out of this world, right? And I just thought it was cool. I happened to see, like, I think her concert being advertised in Spotify in my city, so I decided to. It was kind of just like spur of the moment thing, the decision to get her tickets, and I just like the idea of supporting a JP artist performing in North America. So my husband and I went to the concert together, and it was we had a blast. I recall that the opening song was Usewa, and she was like slightly off key for that, which is probably just because it's the first song, and sometimes like the like audio equipment and things like aren't working yet. Like it takes some sort of a minute to get used to. And then I remember that the third song was Gira Gira, and because Gira Gira is one of my favorite songs, and she was so good for that. Like she her voice sounded so good singing Gira Gira. And how do I say this? At some point, I actually was considering singing Gira Gira as for my debut karaoke. In the end, I decided to change it to something else. In part because, how do I say this? It's the song is in Japanese, and the lyrics are a bit fast for the verses especially. So I didn't feel like I could memorize it in time and do it justice. But it is a really nice song. Maybe I'll just show you sort of what I've learned of it so far. I'll just sing only a small part of it and give you a glimpse of what it would have been like if I had sung that for my debut. Should I feel like I should turn off these pictures because they don't have to do with what I'm talking about right now, and I'm gonna remember to turn on my mic. 輝いた私は夜を飲みラタタタ今に見た服のラブ目にしみるは1ミリグラムの花見 drag on なんてファニーこの指はビーゾI don't know if that was my best, but it would have sounded something like that, maybe. And then she sang, I think, so one of my other favorite Ado songs is Odo. She didn't sing Odo for the whole concert, initially, or almost the whole concert, and I was starting to get worried, like, oh, is she not going to do that one? But it seems like how could she not do that one? It's such a showstopper. And then at the end, near the end, she says like, "Oh, this is gonna be the last song. Like, are you ready? Are you ready to sing? Like, are you ready to dance?" And then that's when I lost my shit because I know that well, Odo means dance in Japanese, right? And then the finale was Odo, and it was just like the best thing ever. And then that wasn't actually the end because there was actually an encore, and you won't believe what she sang for the encore. I was so surprised, but it was so magical. She sang Chandelier by Sia, which is like an English song. So she was singing in English, and like the song is such a good fit for her, right, for her voice, because and it's a very difficult song. And that was just, honestly, it left me wondering, like at a concert, when you're singing songs from other artists, how exactly do you get the rights for that? Because I'm guessing that you actually have to buy the rights. You probably have to pay some sort of license or royalties or whatever it is. So that left me wondering about that. I'm not sure what the process is myself. So that was Ado, and then I also went to the Taylor Swift. I went to the Eras tour last November. Last November. I went on opening night. What is it? Yeah, I went on the opening night in Toronto, which was on November 14th. I think Thursday. I think it was Thursday, November 14th, which is pretty close to my birthday. And honestly, when I tell people this story, they're usually very first of all kind of surprised and maybe a bit jealous that I got to see Taylor Swift, and then they also ask how I got the tickets. So, funny story about this. So, when the Toronto dates, I believe, were originally announced way back in August 2023, more than a year before the shows. And at the time, I was actually still in Japan on my honeymoon with my husband in Tokyo. So the dates were announced like on the 9th or something like that, and then we got back home on around like the 12th or the 13th, and then I found out that the dates were announced while I was gone, and that I missed my chance to like sign up for the whatever it was back then. Like there was like an email thing. I forgot exactly how it worked, and I was so mad, and I was like, oh, but like this is so unfair, and it's like it's so close to my birthday too. In the end, what I did was I just bought resale tickets, so they ended up being $1,000 each, or something like that. I only bought one because like it's like at that rate it's like kind of too expensive for my husband to come with me, so I went to the concert by myself. But honestly, like I think it was worth it to have my experience, and it was really. I've been, as I mentioned in my debut stream, I've been a Swiftie for like 17 years, like since I was like in middle school, and after all this time, you know, like all this time I've like only ever seen Taylor Swift on sort of like TV or on a screen, right? And it was kind of unreal just to see her in person for the first time and think like, yes, you know, this is an actual person and I am in the same room as her. I had a moment where I felt that way. And at the concert, it was the energy in at a Taylor Swift concert is different from, I would say, at most other concerts. Probably not like I've been to so many concerts, but other people have said the same thing, and it's because of how close-knit the Swifties are. It's just because of how uniquely dedicated the Swifties are to Taylor Swift that like everybody is singing along to the lyrics. Like there's a lot of emotional investment. It's super intense. In contrast to say like the Ado concert, which was more of like a normal concert in terms of just the audience participation. Like at the Ado concert, I looked around and saw people who just like, they were just sitting still watching the entire time. It was hard to tell if they were even enjoying themselves. But at a Taylor Swift concert, it's not like that. Everybody is like crying and dancing and like just screaming out the lyrics along with the show. It's just a very different one of a kind experience. There's definitely a very there's just a whole vibe of community there, and yeah, I recall one specific moment I recall especially was when she sang the 10-minute version of All Too Well. And there's a lyric from that goes, "Fuck the patriarchy." And when she got to that part, all the fans like said so loud, like they were like, "Fuck the patriarchy!" And I was, I like laughed. I was like, "Wow, so well, we really hate the patriarchy here, don't we?" There was also the show also had pyrotechnics as well, and it was really cool because whenever the flames came out, it actually got hotter in the venue. It was really intense. So yeah, I did want to talk about the concerts I've been to recently, because I figured maybe some people might find those stories interesting. Though it looks like I don't know if that's the case or not. I think like someone who looked like they wanted to hear the about the Ado concert isn't here today, but that's okay. What else did I say I would talk about today? I think I do remember one more thing I said I would talk about today, but I don't want to. I said that I would talk about it, and I feel like I should commit to doing that, because if I don't, then it's like I'm like lying, you know. I'm false advertising, so I don't want to chicken out, but I just feel a bit awkward streaming to fewer people. Tara says, "I've seen people pass out at a concert. That was odd. It's probably worse with pyrotechnics." Can I ask what kind of concert, Tara? Was there something about the concert in particular? Kai, concerts are sick. The Ado one looked great. Yeah, it was special. And oh, I remember something else I can say about the Ado concert. You just reminded me. For one thing, when it came to the Ado concert, there was absolutely no photos or video recording allowed during the concert, because of, you know, Ado is like tries to keep her identity anonymous and stuff. It was like probably in large part because of that. And also, what do I say? She had a segment where she stopped to deliver a message to the fans, and because she was in Canada, she made an effort to deliver her message in English, which is really sweet. Obviously, her English was, you know, a bit broken, but her pronunciation wasn't too bad, which I feel like is very common among singers to just be good with foreign languages. But she was trying to tell us that she really she liked Toronto. She liked the idea of Toronto in Canada because she's a winter person, and that she wants to try coming to Toronto someday in the winter and maybe try things like ice skating. She was like she said that prior to the concert she was like walking along the lakeshore and she found it really nice overall, like the weather. I think she liked it better than Tokyo. She literally said not hot in like a Japanese accent like that. It was so cute. And another cool thing she said that I remember is she was also giving a speech sort of as as to sort of how about how far she's come and her journey making it here, what it was like for her before she before she was famous. She said that she literally used to record like song covers in her closet, and she would stay up late at night doing this, and then her mom would get mad at her and say like, "You're too loud! Like, do you know what time it is? Like, you're too loud! Like, turn that down!" Like, her mom like wasn't, was kind of like the stereotypical like Asian mom, wasn't necessarily like the most supportive of her dreams, which is something I can relate to. And hearing that, I just felt that it was really great that maybe despite not being in the most supportive environment, she nevertheless persisted and got to where she is today. I found that really sweet and inspirational. Tara says, "It was in a closed bar full of people. They were at the very front near the speakers. Understandable, they fainted." Yeah, I can definitely imagine how fainting happened in that scenario, whether it's because the music was too loud, or because or maybe just it was a closed bar. Maybe if it was like kind of dank, maybe there was like a lot of smoke or like the smell of alcohol or some other kind of weird bad smell. It's very unfortunate. It just goes to show the importance of proper ventilation, I would say. Something I should talk about before the end of the stream, even though I feel awkward, because I promised to, and I should not chicken out. That's not the way of Justice Incarnate. So I wrote on Discord and on like Blue Sky and Twitter. I have a new theory regarding philosopher VTubers. I haven't put a lot of thought into how exactly I should introduce this, so maybe let me think about that. But I came up with this over the weekend, I think. It was definitely within the last week or so, because it actually started. And let me show the picture of myself again for context, right? I showed a picture of this. Okay. Oh, I just realized there's a story that I forgot to tell. So you see how this version of this picture of me is censored. There is an uncensored version, but only one person gets to see it, and that person is Axion. I've sent Axion the uncensored version, and the reason for that is partially because of a promise that I made him. So I don't know who might be aware of this or remembers this, but Axion did mention on his channel a while back that he, for Halloween, he would be attending a Halloween party like a costume party the week before Halloween. That his costume idea was to dress as a country music singer. And he actually first told me about that like a long time ago, like maybe at the beginning of October, and I was like, what the heck? Like that's like the last, I can't imagine that. Like that's like the last thing I would have guessed. So he said he didn't seem very willing to show any pictures of himself in the costume on stream, which is very understandable. But I voice called him, I think later, before the day of the party, and I told him like, hey, like I understand that you don't want to show any of these pictures on stream, but maybe if you you know, just slid one into my DMs, I would be, yeah, I would appreciate that, because you can't tell me something like, I'm gonna go as a country music singer on Halloween and then expect me not to be curious, because that's really funny. So I wasn't, you know, I wasn't like pressuring him to do it. I wasn't sure if he would do it or not. Like if he didn't feel comfortable, I would understand. I did tell him that if he did it, I would send him a picture of myself wearing a costume or cosplay to return the favor. Maybe that was what made him do it. Because over the weekend he did send me the pictures. He sent me the pictures of him real life dressed basically like as a cowboy. And he actually, like, unironically, he looked like really good in it. Like, you might think like, oh, because he's like an intellectual, like he wouldn't fit as a cowboy, but I thought that he like pulled it off really well. He had like a cowboy hat, and he had like a plaid like button-up shirt and like cowboy boots, and he looked really kind of like dapper and elegant. Like he made for a very dapper, like well-dressed cowboy. like very easily, like honestly probably like the most like beautiful and elegant cowboy I've ever seen, honestly. And I was like, whoa, like you look beautiful, like you look this like and like thank you so much for the pictures. And then he was like, yeah, I had told him in advance that my plan was to dress as Tifa for Halloween, and that didn't end up coming to pass, because I had plans, and I made plans instead to take my little sister trick-or-treating for Halloween. And since I knew I was going to be outside, Halloween in Canada is cold, by the way. It's generally cold. The temperature is usually close to freezing, if not freezing, whereas Halloween in Tennessee is warm. So you can wear whatever you want, even if it's like something revealing. We're not quite that fortunate in Canada. So I knew that if I'm gonna like go trick-or-treating outside, if I'm dressed as Tifa, I might be a bit uncomfortable. So I decided to try to save the Tifa cosplay for Ani Rebel Toronto and wear something else for Halloween instead. And then it turned out like I still couldn't do it for the convention, so whatever. But anyway, I told him in advance, like, yeah, I'm thinking of going as Tifa for Halloween. And then he brought it up again after he sent me the cowboy pictures. He was like, yeah, if I, yeah, so, you know, I wouldn't, he was, maybe I should check what he said on Discord. I don't want to make him sound weird. Maybe, it's probably fine. He was like, yeah, you know, I wouldn't mind seeing those, you know, Tifa pictures. But like no pressure or anything. And I was like, because I'm Justice incarnate, right? I'm very honorable. I'm the type of person to try to pay back debts and keep my promises. So I was like no, like you sent me your cowboy pictures, so now I have to send you my Tifa pictures or whatever pictures in return, you know, to return the favor. You know, I can't, you know, because I owe you for that. So in the end, I didn't dress up as Tifa, but I sent him a picture of a different cosplay instead. This picture, this was my plan B, and he said nice things about it, which is very kind of him. And then after, we kind of got into an interesting exchange, because I recently Karis Euphranor was talking on stream. If I recall correctly, in a recent stream, he brought up the fact that he tends to get, even at his age, because he is supposedly 60 years old, right? You know, supposedly. I'm not sure if I buy that, but he he said that he still gets carded at when he goes to pubs, because he likes drinking, I guess, right? I mean, I don't drink. I don't know if Axion drinks, but I don't drink, but Karis drinks. And he says he still gets carded, which is like not really that surprising to me, that he's someone who looks more on the young side, because he did tell a story that he also told a story recently that one time when he was a kid, he got mistaken for a girl from the back, which is like that's a very Karis story. But that means that he's probably like a pretty boy, right? as opposed to someone who looks more rugged. So it's like, it doesn't surprise me that at his age, he's supposedly 60, he still gets carded, he still gets ID'd at pubs. And then I kind of like the sort of like the neurons began firing in my head. Like I feel like I kind of started making the connections in my head, and I told Axe, because Axe was the one that brought this up. He said that he because it was because of something I said then when I was sending him my picture, and he was said like, no, I think you look fine. You know, there are also times when I worry that I look I'm aging and I look older, and but yeah. And then I told him like, no, like I think you look great. Like you because Axe did a face reveal in his debut stream, right? So like everyone knows what he looks like. It's an open secret. So if you want to know, you can check it out yourself. But I told him like, no, like I think you look great. Like you're like definitely aging well. You're aging gracefully. Like I think you look. I don't know like how old you are, but you look like. Just based on like I know when he mentioned when he got his PhD, so just based on that, like you probably look like, based on my guess as to how old you are, you're probably like you look at least 5 years younger than your age. Like you look really good. And he was like, thank you. And he said that like people he went to school with said that like he hasn't aged much. And then he told me his age, and then I didn't tell him this at the time because I kind of had the epiphany later. I realized that Axion is the same age as Taylor Swift. They're the same age, so like that means two of my Oshis are the same age. And when I realized that after, I was like, oh, that's so cool. But I also felt bad because in the past I may have called Axion old before, and I mean that only in sort of like an affectionate and jesting way. I'm not actually trying to like insult him or like be mean and make him feel bad, right? It's just friendly. It's supposed to be friendly teasing. But my thing with Taylor Swift is that I refuse to consider her old. She's not that many years older than me, so I figure like if I mean she's no matter how old she gets, like she'll just always be like young to me. Like she's Taylor Swift. And since she's not that much older than me, so if I call her old, that means like I'm next, right? That's how that works. And then because I'm a philosopher, if we're trying to just value logical consistency here, if Axion and Taylor Swift are the same age, and Taylor Swift is not old, that means Axion can't be old either. Because if Axion is old, that means Taylor Swift is also old, and that is not a thought I am willing to entertain. Like no. So that means, therefore, Axion is not old. I'm sorry, Axion, if you end up watching this. At any time, please accept my apology. You are not old. You are the perfect age, just like Taylor Swift. Just like Taylor Swift, you're not old. I'm sorry for calling you old. I take it back. You're the perfect age. I mean it. Accept my Tifa pictures in the name of justice. Yeah, it was something like that. I really wanted to keep my word and do the honorable thing. I couldn't dress up as Tifa this time, but I feel that at least I dressed up as something, so I feel like I was able to keep my word. But anyway, I would show you, by the way, the cowboy pictures that Axion sent me, because they looked really good, but I won't, because I feel that he sent me them in confidence. If he wanted to show them to other people, then he can show them on his own stream, on his own channel, but I won't show you. I won't show you them. I can just, maybe I'll draw a picture of what it looked like sometime. I think that would be acceptable. But yeah, I'm afraid I can't show you the pictures. You'll just have to use your imagination when I say that he looked really good. And what else? I was going somewhere with this. Let me take a minute to remember. Okay, yeah, I think I remember now. So I said that like me sending the pictures like sort of caused us to like launch into a certain exchange about a certain topic, right? So what it was so we were talking about, basically it all clicked in my mind because Karis recently said he still gets carded at pubs. Axion looks young for his age, and then I myself actually got mistaken for a high schooler a few years ago. I was meeting a family friend for the first time, and she didn't know me, and I said, she asked me, like, where do you live? Like, do you live, like, here with, like, your family, or, you know, and then I said, no, I live with my husband, and she was shocked. She was like, she was like, eh? Like, how old are you? I said, this was a few years ago, so I was like, I'm 27. And she was like, oh my god. She was like, I thought you were like, maybe like 16 to 20. She was like, I thought you were 16 to 20. And like, we had a laugh over that. Oh, hi, Penbu. I finally remembered stream was happening while it's live for once. Hello. Penbu, I missed you last week. I talked about you. Did you watch the VOD? If you didn't watch the VOD, you should, because I talked about you. I think you would be interested in hearing what I had to say. I'm not going to repeat it because I don't want to like you know, mess it up this time. You can check out the VOD. You should. I noticed. I think my comment got eaten in the mod queue or something. I should. Okay. I'm okay. Thanks for telling me that. I'm really sorry to hear about that. That's really disappointing. I'm gonna, after stream, I'll definitely check my YouTube studio and see if I can still unearth it from some sort of like the prison that it's in, that it ended up in. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so Axion looks like basically I think like, yeah, so I realized like Axion and Karis and myself, we all look young for our age. Like Axion, I feel like Axion looks like my age, and then I look like Karis's age, and then Karis looks like, I don't know, like maybe like a high schooler if he's still getting carded at pubs. So I said to Axion like, hey, like I kind of had this thought recently, like first of all, in terms of VTubers in general, like have any of you heard like the sort of like meme or joke that like all VTubers are hot in real life? And if you, in case you don't know, the context of that is like just a disproportionate amount of the time whenever like VTubers do face reveals, like the person behind the model is like actually like conventionally attractive and like good looking, and like sort of like raises the question of like, if you're so good looking, then like why are you a VTuber in the first place? You could just be like you just, you know, do face cam. Like, why are you a VTuber, and why is every VTuber hot when it's like not necessary to be a VTuber? Like, what is and I feel like there have been like some a few theories floating around as to why that is. I recall that there was a while ago that there was like a popular, I think, Shy Lily clip where she you know, dropped her take on the why she thinks that is, and then Penbu says, as someone who has met a few VTubers in real life, I can confirm there's some truth to that statement. Oh, do you mind telling me which VTubers you have met, if that's not sort of like something too private? I'd very much like to know. As you can see, I'm kind of new to the VTubing sphere, and I would like to try to get to know people and make friends. I feel like someone made you sound like you're quite well connected, Penbu. So I would love to hear about that if you're fine with speaking about it. Isn't that a little survivor bias? I don't know. Is it? That's possible. But anyway, yeah. So first of all, there's two. Yeah, so first of all, just, you know, VTubers in general are supposedly hot in real life, and between Axion and Karis and myself, I can already see it. But then there's also the added element that, oops, I hope you didn't hear that. If you did, I'm sorry. I'm having a little bit of indigestion today. Axion and Karis and we all look young for our age as well, in addition to being like hot. And I think I'll keep that to DMs, but I absolutely want to get you connected with a bunch of others. Okay, that's understandable. It's very nice of you to say that you want me to get connected. Cause yeah, I don't if I have more to say on that, I'll save it for the end because I'm just in the middle of something else. I actually prepared a graphic. I don't know if it's in good taste or not. It's like one of these ideas that's like, oh, I'm not singing anymore, so I can hide my mic. Hi Berserker. What you see on screen, you missed a bit of singing from earlier, but what you see on screen right now is my cosplay from over the weekend when I went to a local anime convention. That is me. And yeah, I was in the middle of talking about why philosopher VTubers are hot and aging well. I have prepared a graphic for this. I'm not sure if it's in good taste to show. It's probably okay, but I'm not entirely sure because I will say it's like one of those ideas that came to me kind of in the form of an intrusive thought. It was like, wouldn't it be funny if I did this, rather than like, I think everybody would be okay if I did this. I'm gonna try. I felt like, cause if I'm trying to talk about why we're all hot, I felt like it would be good to have some sort of like reference in front of us to show you exactly what I meant. Guys, should I show it? Just tell me if just tell me if you think. I don't know. Just somebody tell me like just like yes or no, please. But yeah, why? And then in a minute I will tell you I've drafted up a few potential explanations as to why it is that we're all young looking, because like based on our sample size of 3, like it looks like if you're a philosopher VTuber, you're like attractive and you age well, and I want to know like why that is, because that's like it's like really interesting. Okay, Berserker says yes. Okay, okay. I am. If this goes wrong, I'll just say that I am enabled. I'm being enabled by chat. I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure what we're talking about, but I'm feeling supportive. Thanks, Berserker. You can always catch up via the VOD. That might be better than if I tried to like re-explain everything. We're talking about. Yeah. Well, we're talking about. What? I just said it. I think I just summarized it, so I'm gonna move on. This is the graphic that no, I don't know. I don't know if I can do it. I feel awkward. I don't want anyone to like, you know what? It's probably okay. I'm not showing anything that's private, or I don't think it'll actually be in bad taste, will it? Oh, okay, here that's the 3 of us, and Karis is censored. Karis is censored because nobody actually knows what he looks like in real life. It's just assumed he's attractive because of the anecdotal evidence that he's given, right? The sort of like circumstantial evidence, just like little hints that he's dropped, like he says he still gets carded at pubs and he got mistaken for a girl as a kid, so he's probably quite the pretty boy. We don't actually know what his face looks like. I thought I would throw that in anywhere and then censor it anyway just because it would look funny. Yeah, please don't explain for my sake. I'll catch the vibe. Oh, okay. So there's the 3 of us. And I want to talk about 2 concepts I thought of recently. One is something that I am dubbing for now the fourth wall spectrum. I'm tentatively calling it the fourth wall spectrum. And I will explain in a minute what the fourth wall spectrum is. But first, I just want to say, so here you see on the left, in the big picture, that's me, and my face is censored though. And then the top right, that's Axion. This picture is literally available on his debut stream. It's available on, it's like his Substack. So I'm like not doxing him. I just like grabbed it from what's like, it's just already out there. So I was like a little like hesitant to put it on, like in case it's just kind of like bad taste, but I'm trying to discuss a theory here. I think it's all for the greater good. And then there's Karis, who like nobody knows like what he looks like, and he's like mosaicked. I am curious to find out why VTubers, and it seems like especially philosopher VTubers, are all on the good-looking side. If it's out there in his space, it's fine. Yeah, that's what I thought. So I do feel a little embarrassed. Yeah, and then so that discussion I was having with Axion over the weekend, I said, I was like, yeah, what is there something about philosophers? Is there something about like being a philosopher that keeps us looking young? And he was like, oh, I love the thought that it does. An unexpected perk of philosophy, if true. And that made me laugh. I said, and I responded, clearly, this is something we must investigate, and in the process, prolong our youth. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. So I am trying to get to the bottom of why being a philosopher makes you look young, and in the process, if this is true, I am also making myself look young by doing this. So we're killing two birds with one stone. So I have drafted up a few possible hypotheses as to why this correlation exists. I don't really have any evidence pointing to the sort of like the truthfulness of any one of them. I would like to hear your thoughts if you have any ideas, but I'm gonna go ahead and offer the possible explanations. So, explanation 1. It's possible that there are just certain genes that are responsible, for both like an inclination towards philosophy, a passion for philosophy, and good looks. And so just if you have a gene that makes you philosophical, just more likely that you also just have the genes that make you good looking. It sounds maybe like a little far-fetched or unsubstantiated, but I feel like it's like not impossible, right? That's possible. We don't know for sure. Tara says we must solve philosophy VTubing as the answer for immortality. There's no question about it. I was thinking the same. Like, yeah, no wonder Karis is forever 60. It's probably just like philosophy like 24/7. Like that makes so much sense. And then the second possibility is that the act of doing philosophy confers like certain effects, like certain sort of like psychological sort of spiritual benefits, similar to something like meditation, because it involves sort of like peace and contemplation that directly lowers your stress levels and slows aging. So the idea is that doing philosophy is an activity that is sort of similar by nature to meditation, or I don't know, yoga or things like that. I'm pretty sure like the research these days, research has shown that like has proven that yoga and meditation are actually like healthy for you. They actually do things. They actually have benefits for your health, and then philosophy is just another variation of that. It's just another one of those things. Berserker has a theory. My theory: philosophers tend to spend more time indoors, reading and pondering things, and sun damage is the greatest ager. I am in this picture and I don't like it. You're not wrong. I don't You're not wrong. I don't go outside very much, but I feel I feel like I feel perceived. Actually, honestly, that might be like that's probably a factor. I wouldn't. I'm not sure. I would say that's like the only factor. Like that's probably not the only reason, but it sounds quite likely that that's part of it. Anyway, I had a third hypothesis. The last one is just that philosophers, being the kind of people who are more likely to carefully consider their decisions and weigh sort of which option is the most wise and prudent, and that means that we're more likely to make healthy lifestyle choices that indirectly result in better health and well-being. Things like eating healthy, maybe, because I've also brought up this topic with Karis and Axion, but it turns out that we all because one time I was on a voice call with Axion. I was like asking him like hey, like did you just come back from dinner? Did you just eat dinner? And he was like, yeah, I did. Like, how did you know? And then we ended up just talking about food. I asked him like, what do you like to cook? And he said like, oh, I just make like I like making like stir-fried veggies and that kind of thing. And I was like, oh, like it sounds like you eat pretty healthy then. And he was like, yeah, like pretty much. And I was like, well, yeah, I feel like I'm probably like pretty similar in that regard. And then like I asked like, hey, is it just like a philosopher thing to eat healthy? Because like we're not the type to like make foolish decisions. And then I was like, clearly like the only way to know is to ask Karis. And I asked Karis, I mentioned Karis in the Library of Alexandria. I was like, bro, what do you eat on a regular day? Because we're trying to figure out like what if philosopher VTubers eat healthy. And then he didn't answer me at first, so I accused him of like I was like, well, clearly clearly the answer is a resounding no if you're acting like you have this like big shameful secret to hide. But he did answer on stream. He answered on stream during one of the Little Nightmares collab a few days later, and he was like, actually I forgot his exact answer. Although some of his people have said that they've claimed that like he'll eat like nothing but hard-boiled eggs for a meal, or like he'll drink like a whole carton of chocolate milk at once. I guess these are technically unverified claims. I don't know if this is true, but I don't know if I would still consider that healthy. Like maybe it is in some way. It is simple. I don't know if I would call that healthy. And then yeah. So I have 3 hypotheses. I don't know if I gravitate towards one of them necessarily more than the other, but so far it is quite apparent that there is at least some sort of pattern, and I'm very interested in figuring out why this is. And what else? What should I say? I have a few more topics written up, but we're at the 2-hour mark, so I'm wondering if I should just end stream now. Wait, there were a few more housekeeping related things I want to discuss. Actually, I should probably get through them at the very least. So one important thing is Discord server. So I've been asked by a few people now if I'm planning to start my own Discord server, and I think that when it comes to that, maybe okay, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna hide this because it's not relevant anymore, and I'm gonna show my schedule so that I remember to talk about it. So what is it? Yes, Discord server. I said I would talk about this on stream last week, and then I forgot. But basically, I don't have any immediate plans to start a Discord server. It is something that I've thought about doing. Initially, I didn't really want to make a Discord server at all because I felt I had a lot of reservations. I'm like, you know, relating to my ability to run a Discord server well, it would take a lot of effort. You know, I need to like find moderators and things like that. You know, I was worried like, you know, what if it just becomes sort of a cesspool for like abuse and harassment? And I didn't feel like I wanted to be responsible for that. Because if anything, you know, if anything happened to anyone on my server because of me, I wouldn't be able to sort of live that down. But then I started thinking, well, if one day I blow up as a streamer, someone will make a Discord server for me anyway, if there isn't an official one. And in that case, you know, isn't it better if I make the server and I retain sort of creative control over it and everything? Is that not best in the long run? So I'm more open to the idea of making one now. I haven't yet because I still don't really know how to go about doing so, and I don't know how to go about doing a good job of making one. I guess I've been having a lot of anxiety lately, and I worry that if I take on something sort of big like that right now, it's just going to be too much for me to handle, and it's not really worth it considering I don't have such a large following right now, I don't feel. So, you know, right now basically where I'm thinking is that like, if there's more demand in the future, I'll make one at some point. But right now, I'm not certain that the level of demand that there is justifies making one right at this moment, and in light of how much there is on my plate. Oh, Penbu says, if you ever need mods for a Discord server, I'd be happy to volunteer and help set things up if you need it. Oh, that's very nice of you to offer, Penbu. I might take up your offer eventually, because you probably have a lot of experience with. You seem like you're the type to have a lot of experience with both VTubing and Discord, so that would be probably really helpful. But yeah, I feel like if I made a Discord server now, there would still only be like 5 people on it, so. I don't know if it's just like the best idea right now, but it is something I'm thinking about. So stay tuned for updates on that. And if you're thinking actually, I would really like a Discord server like right now in the near future to hang out in. You are totally you're more than welcome to give your perspective as well. I would like to hear from you. Like basically. I'll do it if I feel like there's demand for it. For now, we'll just go along without Discord. Well, right now. I'm in the Library of Alexandria, Karis' server. I'm pretty active there, and honestly, part of the reason that I hesitate to make my own server is because, like, I think the Library of Alexandria is such a great server. At least right now, I don't feel like I can make a better server. Like, it would just be an inferior version of that server. It has like literally the best Discord verification puzzle that there ever was, that I've ever seen. It's incredible. Like, Karis outdid himself. Penbu says, I think it's helped to have one even at your size, but you can take things at your own pace. Okay, if you want to sort of provide context on why you think that, how you think it could benefit someone like me, I'd be glad to hear it. Yeah, it's just like I've just been short on time lately, and I've had quite a bit of anxiety. It's not too bad right now because I've been having a pretty good day, but yeah. Tara says, don't worry much about it. Someone took like a year for it. Yeah, I guess, I mean, Axion doesn't even have his own server either, and he's been streaming for like almost 4 months. And to say nothing of Karis, who, yes, there's a certain someone who sets a precedent for taking their sweet time and making a Discord server. Penbu, it doesn't need to be better, it just needs to be yours. I guess you have a point. It's just like, because I'm Justice Incarnate, I'm so perfectionistic, right? I set high standards for myself, and I'm always like, okay, if I need to do something, it can't be mid. Like, nothing I do can be mid or mediocre. Like, if I'm gonna do something, I have to be like one of the best at it. Like, it has to be amazing. And I do that to myself so much. And I'm trying to stop, because sometimes it gets to the point where it actually prevents me from doing things. And I'm trying to not let perfect be the enemy of good anymore. Penbu says, I think the short of it is that your Discord will attract and contain your core members. Okay, I'll consider that and maybe look into other perspectives. I'm sure maybe on Reddit there will, if I search, there will have been sort of like threads that people made discussing, you know, like, hey, you know, should I make my own Discord server as a VTuber? So that's another thing to look into. In addition to how Siren recommended that I post clips of mine on TikTok. That was another very useful suggestion. So thank you for all the support and ideas, you guys. I feel like I am like crowdsourcing success. I feel a bit bad about that, but I'm really I'm really honored and flattered for your input. I really appreciate it. What else? Is there anything else that I want to do right now? I have some other topics posted here. I think I could save a good deal of them for later. What time is it? Okay, it's 2:08. Yeah, this is a good time to end stream. Maybe I should talk. Is it? I need to talk about my schedule. I almost forgot about that, even though it was like literally right behind me. Penbu says, nah, don't worry about that. Learning from others is the way to grow. That is true, but you can only learn from others if they offer to teach, right? It's a two-way street. You can't learn from others if no one is willing to teach you. So in light of that, I don't know, maybe it's just because of my past experience and like such situations have been in the past, but in light of that, it's not lost on me sort of the thoughtfulness and the generosity, the significance of your sharing your advice with me like this. And I like sharing advice and resources too. I've been doing it all the time for first for Axion and more recently Keri Senpai, just giving all the support I can because I love helping people and teaching. So yes, thank you very much. I truly do appreciate it. I couldn't be me and all that I am without the friends and now fans that I have. I hope to continue growing and doing my best. So my schedule, that needs to be covered before I end stream. So today, my freaking big head is covering the times once again. I usually stream at the same times every week regardless. But so today we did the chatting stream. It's 2 o'clock. And then on Wednesday, I figured, I mentioned in my debut stream that I like playing fighting games and I haven't played any yet. I realized and I figured like now might be it's about time to start. The reason I didn't play any in my first couple weeks was because fighting games can be quite sort of like high adrenaline. They can be a bit stressful, and my debut really tuckered me out, and I didn't want to sort of like push myself too far. And when I was in that state, I needed just a week or two to recover and get my strength back. And I feel like now I'm probably finally ready to get back into fighting games. So I'm planning to do some Soul Calibur on Wednesday, and I actually have a special theme planned for the stream. So I just won't be just fighting anything random. I actually have I'm not you gotta show up on Wednesday to find out what I've been cooking, because I think it'll be really funny. It's actually what I was working on before the stream. Please come for that. I think it'll be a blast. And then I will be streaming Xenoblade X on Friday. I think that I'm just gonna make Xenoblade make a Friday Xenoblade X day going forward, because it's just I've always been streaming it on Friday so far, and I don't really see any reason to change that, since just by streaming it always on the same day, it makes it easier for people to like show up and to know what to expect. So this wasn't planned at first. Initially I was just thinking I would just stream it whenever on different days. It just kind of worked out this way, but I don't really see any reason to change that. And now and then on Saturday, so far I've never streamed on a Saturday, and which It's just not because I have anything against Saturday. It just worked out that way. Like 2 weeks ago, I was tired, and last week I just or this past weekend I was busy. So maybe it's about time that I try to stream on Saturday, but I don't have anything concrete planned for that day yet, so stay tuned. If you don't hear from me on that day, oh my god, I just realized once again, wait, no, actually no, I didn't. I remembered to post about going live before the stream. For a second I thought I didn't, and I was like, not again. Anyway, if you don't hear from me at all on Saturday, if you don't see a waiting room go up, and if my socials don't mention anything, then there's nothing on Saturday. But if there is, then I will post on my socials, and there will be a waiting room and all that. And that's how you'll find out. Siren says, "Love fighting games." Oh, you too? I love meeting other people who love fighting games. Feel free to tell me which games you play and which ones you like. I hope to do fighting game streams every now and then on my channel. Is there anything else I should add? I feel like there might be something. There are like 2 or 3 slightly more serious topics that I want to cover in a chatting stream at some point. I figure that as a philosopher VTuber, I don't know if I've been doing a very good job so far living up to the identity of a philosopher VTuber. I feel like I've just been spending a lot of time chatting about like random stuff that's not really that philosophical, and I'm just sort of like looking at the direction of my channel and seeing like I'm not really sure I'm living up to the role, the kind of role that I want to sort of embody for other people. There are a few more serious topics that I've like laid out and planned to talk on stream during a chatting stream like this. I figured that Just a Spoken, it will be mostly more for like self-contained topics. Like each episode will be wholly dedicated to one theme, to sort of exploring one theme. And then if I ever have any sort of like leftover philosophy tidbits that can't really fully constitute an entire Just a Spoken episode, I'll instead chat about it in just a regular chatting stream. And I have already a few of those topics lined up. I just haven't been able to get to them yet. I've had them basically since like last week or before. It's just I keep just finding other things to talk about it instead. But maybe I should actually start really living up to the label of a philosopher VTuber more, and maybe more people would want to watch that, because then I'd feel like I'm like just living more up to my label. I don't know, but I think I should save that for next time. I don't know if I feel like I should continue streaming today. I do have a lot of work to do, as always. After the stream, I'll probably continue setting up stuff for future streams and such. Berserker says, "I love watching people play fighting games." Oh, that's I'm really happy to hear that. So then I hope you'll come watch me play Soul Calibur and other things in the future. Siren says, "I main BlazBlue and Dead or Alive, but I do also enjoy Soul Calibur." Oh, I've never played BlazBlue and Dead or Alive, but I do find BlazBlue seems interesting to me in light of the fact that it like Guilty Gear is also developed by Arc System Works, and I do play some Guilty Gear. Berserker, never could play them myself. Oh, that's very interesting. So you enjoy spectating the fighting games, but you don't play them yourself. Well then, I hope to give you a good show on Wednesday. Penbu says, "It's okay. I call myself a programmer VTuber, and I hardly program. Yeah. I guess that's a thing that can happen. Thank you for expressing solidarity with me. Let me see if maybe if there's just anything else I want to talk about before I end stream. Because if I end stream, then I need to wait a whole week before I can chat again. I'm not sure. I am not sure how much I want to continue doing a chatting stream every week, because I feel like they don't necessarily do as well as gaming streams. I definitely feel more awkward during these than I do during a gaming stream, especially Xenoblade, because I found that I'm very comfortable playing Xenoblade. But to the fans that I have so far, and when I talk about sort of my anxieties about lack of success, do not interpret that as me meaning that I don't already appreciate you, because I really do. I perceive you, and it makes me so happy that you show up to hear me talk day after day. To my existing fans that I have already, do you enjoy my chatting streams? Would you like me to continue holding one each Monday? Do you enjoy this? I value your input. Cause I guess something that's a bit disappointing for me is when somebody says they're excited for something, and then I do that thing and then they don't show up. That's really, to me, that like makes me feel really bad. It's just one thing. I mean, it's not like I'm so, full of myself that I demand that people, give me all their time and attention. It's just more that like, if someone can't make it to my stream, period, that's one thing. But it's another thing if somebody says like they say like, oh, like that sounds really cool, I want to see that, and then they don't show up. I think that's like kind of crappy. I really try to listen to other people's suggestions and be helpful and do things that other people are interested in, so that if I really extend myself to do that, and like someone is like they like take it for granted and they don't appreciate it, I kind of like it. That really puts me out. Penbu says, I do enjoy the chatting streams, but do whatever's sustainable for you. Okay, I think maybe I'll just continue thinking about the exact format, and maybe shift around sort of exactly how I format the chatting streams, what kind of topics I talk about, because yeah, I'm still new, I'm still starting, and I'm still figuring that out. Like last week, I feel like I didn't talk about enough substantial topics. Like I was planning to talk about more philosophy this stream, and then I feel like I still didn't get to it. Maybe because I thought that people would be interested in hearing my stories about conventions and concerts, since it's kind of like anime adjacent. But if like that stuff is not really interesting, and also I'm kind of like out of stories, those kinds of stories to share anyway. But like if people are really more just here for philosophy, I can certainly deliver that. Tara says, it's fun, nice. I can't say anything about the hour because I don't have a schedule. All right, good to hear. Sid says, I quote-unquote watch VTubers as background noise while I work on stuff. Chatting streams also do work for me. Okay, good to know, Sid. Berserker says, I enjoy this, although I missed most of it. I want to catch one from the beginning to give you my most informed opinion. Oh, thank you. That's very nice of you to say, Berserker. I was actually thinking, I had an idea related to this. Would it help, Berserker, if like I don't know if you follow me on either Blue Sky or Twitter, or I'm also gonna try to start posting my schedules on YouTube like as well. If would that help you catch my streams? I feel like I had some sort of recommendation or suggestion a few days ago, and now I forgot what that was. Tara says, maybe you can do a just chatting recap of your days once a month, and other chatting streams are more guided. Yeah, that's possible too. Honestly, I'm not gonna talk about things like concerts or conventions all that often, because you only go to those like so often, right? And I've already sort of exhausted all my material in that department. Like I've told you like all the stuff I've been doing in the last 2 years, on that front. It's in terms of like talking about telling real life stories. I could also do a couple travel vlogs. I could talk about my trips to Ottawa and Vancouver, or other cities in Canada that I've been to in the last few years. And I could also talk about my 2-week honeymoon in Tokyo in 2023, in summer 2023. I feel like that might be something that people actually want to hear because it's like Tokyo, right? Like we're weebs. Like a lot of people are like, oh, you went to Japan. Like, what was it like? So it might be finally time to chronicle my vacation in Japan. I took tons of photos. I've never really like put together like I've never really just put together a whole thing talking about how the vacation went because I was trying to save it for streaming, and then it took me 2 years to debut. So here we are 2 years later. Penbu says, you're still early in your VTuber career, so I think it's more helpful to stream what you want rather than to try to bend to your audience. What you stream now will shape your audience later. That is a good point. That I have heard people say similar things in the past, and I sort of acknowledge the value of that point. It's just, I guess it's just difficult for me to hold to personally because of my maybe it's like partially because of my personality type, also because of my experiences and stuff like that. But yeah, I hear you, and I will try to keep that in mind. And I think that I could stand to think more about how what I want to do. It's not really something that I'm good at doing. When I was growing up, I was never encouraged to think about what I want to do. I was very much how do you say it? I grew up with a lot of pressure to do what other people wanted to do, and that continues to shape the way I live today. It's something that I'm still trying to unlearn. But yeah. Berserker says, I think the way you're doing it now is fine. I'm mostly late due to simple scheduling conflicts. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. I'm sure that eventually I will run, even if I do things that people want, even if I do the things that I think people want, eventually I will run out of those because it consists of a lot of like ideas I've been saving up for 2 years. And so eventually that pool will run out, and sooner or later I will be forced to think about, okay, what do I really want to do? That's what I think. Yeah. So I do have a lot of figuring out to do. But thank you very much for your comments today. I think that I can take heart from them. I was feeling a lot of self-doubt over the weekend, especially yesterday, but yeah, I think this is really helpful. So in any case, thanks for watching. Otsukaresama. This was Tia Fair Channel. I'll see you next time. I hope to see you when I stream Soul Calibur 6 with a special themed stream on Wednesday. Until then, see you next time. Bye bye.